Hello, everyone. Welcome to Engaged Citizens. I'm your host, Sherry Ryan, and today I am joined by Rainier School Board candidate Charles Weaver. Hi, Charles.
Hey,
Hey,
hello.
welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me and share with our community about yourself and just answer some, poignant questions so that we can get to know you. We know that in this, special election, we don't have a voter's pamphlet. So these are just really good ways to get to know our candidates. So thank you so much.
Okay.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Charles?
I am a native Oregonian, lifelong Oregonian. I was born in Pendleton, Letterbuck, and have lived in Central Oregon, went to college at U of O in Eugene, and spent most of my time in Portland. And moved out of Portland in 2015 to St. Helens. Lived there for 2.5 years and then moved out to Rainier. And we've been here for just about 5 years coming up. So,
Nice. Nice. So can you tell us a little bit about what has motivated you, maybe just a little bit of background, into this, kind of area, but what has motivated you to want to run and be a part of the Rainier School Board? Like,
well,
what's your
yeah,
why?
my deal is I recently retired from 44 years in the trash business. I was
Okay.
tired of driving all the way into Portland.
Mhm.
And so I have enough time. I'm semi-retired. I drive a school bus for the Rainier School District right now. It's just for fun, so I can meet all
Wonderful.
those wonderful kids and their
Yeah.
families. So I'm fairly well connected that way. I mean, um, the reason why I want to do this is because it's a civic duty that if I can lend something to this organization, to the school board, or help out, or maybe contribute something very important or stop something bad from happening or anything like that. It's nothing personal for me. It's just that I have the time,
Mhm.
and I've been on boards before. I served on the Columbia County Fair Board from 2015 to 2018, and that was a really fun time. That I love the fair, and so I just have time now to do things. I'm extremely busy always, haha, and you know how
Right.
that goes. Um, but I just want to contribute. I want to see how everything works as far as a school board goes, because I've had some friends who have from joined us out here in Columbia County, and um, we just want to know how this thing works. So, win or lose, I don't know who I'm running against. I really don't. If we're just going to go with what we got, right? So, if
Charles,
they
you are running against Rodney Harding. Rodney has been on the Rainier School Board for 29 years.
oh, good.
Yes. So that is who you are running against. And, thank you so much for just coming into the community and just being like, you know what, I want to help. And
Yeah.
so that's really a wonderful thing that, you want to do for the community. And so can you explain, like in your words then, what does a school board member do? What is like the importance of that role and what do they do?
Well, in the bit of research that I've done and talking to people,
Mhm.
uh, they definitely control or help the superintendent make decisions. They
Yeah.
deal with budgeting and curriculum. And, I don't know exactly. I'm going to
Yeah.
go into this thing blind, and I'm going to hope. I'm just going to go in there with my mouth shut and my ears open and try to get as much information as I can and then start to contribute.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't I don't know anything about the incumbent. I'm if he continues to be on the school board, that's awesome, good for him. I'm not trying to unseat anybody for any kind of reason.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. No.
no, no. I just if it goes, it goes. If it doesn't,
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I can still
Yeah.
contribute in many other ways.
Yeah. Well, What makes you qualified then to be a school board member? What kind of things do you possess that, someone would say, you know what, I'm going to vote for Charles Weaver for school board?
Okay, so I think the number one thing is that I do have board experience from the Columbia County Fair Board. I am, even though it was a long time ago, if you graduated college in 1981, you should be proud of yourself. That was me. So I'm college grad, I'm semi-educated. Um, Even though I hauled trash for 44 years, my family was in the trash business, so it was hard to escape.
Great
um,
job. Great work. Thank you.
it, it was there, and it was really wonderful. I raised two kids with a wonderful wife, and
Mhm.
and actually, our son is a teacher at Rainier, and he's a head baseball coach. And
Okay.
our daughter is started her teaching career at Hudson Park as an assistant preschool
Hey.
teacher. Now she is a head start lead teacher in Clatskanie. So
Oh, okay.
my wife, she works for the education service district there in St. Helens. So we're all involved with the education. So I just took a little bit more of a leap to try to help out a little bit more. And like I say, I have time now. I don't have to get up at 12:30 in the morning and drive an hour into town, dodging deer and whatever else to get to work. So I'm happy with that.
That's wonderful. And I want to speak to that for just a sec. Like I really do feel that like the retirement kind of population, I guess. We think of, when people are retired, like I think that is a really admirable and needed, you know, um population, I guess, for these positions because you have the time, you have the motivation, you have the drive, and it's important to you still. It's like you're like, I
Yeah.
want to be involved in this, right?
I think that it's all about the opportunity, right? So it's there, and
Yeah.
I'm going to go for it. And
Yeah.
like I said, if I'm successful and I'm elected to the
Yeah.
Rainier School Board, that's great. I'm not going to spend a bunch of money and buy signs. I may buy a couple. I may hand paint one and stick it out here up on the highway up by my house. I don't know, but
Nice, nice.
you know, I'm going to let the people decide. And if they
Yes.
go the other way, I'm perfectly fine because I'm still involved with the school.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm on the budget committee already. So, and my
Okay.
first budget meeting will be on Monday. So
Oh, wow. Nice.
there's another one where I'm going to sit down, keep my mouth shut and my ears open and see what I can get.
Yeah, for sure. What do you then, in your experience in Rainier, in the district and such, what is something that you see the school board and the district then doing well? And then what is something that you're kind of like, you know what, if I were to be elected in, I'd really like to be able to help improve or make a difference in. So something that they're doing well and something that you would want to maybe look at improving.
I think that one of the things they do well is if they're starting to be majorly inclusive, and some people have varying degrees of if they like that or not. But I think that the step forward that the district is taking has helped them out a lot. There's still a long ways to go on those things,
Mhm.
and uh,
And
they
what kind of things do you mean?
well, they just there's still a lot of problems. Kids are mean.
Yeah, yeah.
They ride the bus and they are mean. I looked at
You
them
see
today
it.
and go, that behavior is deplorable. Knock it off. I told them, knock it off.
Yes.
They don't want to see Mad Charles. They don't. But I've done it a couple times on them, and they shut up real quick. And I'm like, okay, you guys, it's cool. I'm down.
Man,
Um,
bus driver, what a job there.
yeah. As far as things that the school district needs, look, this all hinges upon whether or not there's a bond coming up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if the bond passes, there's going to be some improvements that are really needed. Improvements, they 22 modulars. Campus is very insecure. It's open. So in light of things that are going on in the world, I think there needs to be a little bit. Things need to tighten up a little bit there. you just never know what's going on anywhere now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I I know that you just can't walk into the grade school, but I don't think that it's too hard to get into the high school. I don't know,
Yeah.
but there's look. Here's the if the bond passes, then they're going to be able to make some good strides. They're going to rebuild the grade school. They're going to get rid of the modulars. They're going to build a new grade school, move the junior high kids uh, out of the high school portion and down into the old grade school. So the seventh and eighth graders have their own place. So they're not intermixed with the high school kids because I see it firsthand.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not so good. So
Well,
I we'll see what happens.
yeah.
There has not been a bond measure passed in a long time. And I think they paid the last one off, I believe they said 1995. So it's been, you
Mhm.
know, that's 28 years
Yeah.
since anybody's had to pay on a bond. And it's
Yeah.
going to be hefty and it's going to be a daunting task to try to get this thing passed. But this
Yeah.
is why one of the reasons why I wanted to join up with this thing too. You
Yeah.
got to put your money where your mouth is. Look, everybody's complaining about this and that and this and this. They're not doing this. Okay,
Yeah.
step up and go. So I'm stepping up and going, see what I can do.
Awesome. That's what we need to do. That's what we should do. So thank you.
And
Um,
quite frankly, I don't have a lot of board experience. The same thing when I entered the fair board. It was try, it's man, it was just here you go. This is how it goes. Then you get to
yeah.
your first fair and you don't even understand how it runs. But then it's over with and everybody's had a really good time. And it was bizarro for me, the first one, because it's like, what is it? It just kind of runs itself. But
Yeah. Yeah.
school board and schools can't run themselves. They need a direction and they need to be solid and people need to be together. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Hopefully I
Yeah.
can bring some things to the table to help people unite here in
Mhm.
town. I mean, there's
Yeah.
it's a tough deal. This is a small community.
Yes. Very small.
I lived for
Very
30
small.
years in wonderful Northeast Portland and grew up as a child in small Eastern Oregon, but
Mhm.
it's it's a small community. News travels fast, things happen
Yeah.
quick here, and
Right.
everybody knows. So,
Totally. Totally. I've grown up in Columbia County almost my entire life. I get it. And most people that live here know that and live it and get it, you know.
yeah.
What would you say to, I get a lot of, different comments in the community or in my inbox, emails, people asking me, different questions that I've posted to our candidates because people want to hear the answers from the candidates that are running. They want to hear what people think or where they're coming from. And so this question
Okay.
is just one of kind of those posing this to someone to see how they feel about this. There's, community members that would feel in engaging with the school board with the Rainier school board or different school boards that they are basically a rubber stamp for the ODE for Oregon Department of Education. And what would you have to say to that?
See, there's one of the issues that I don't know that much about. And luckily, I have a little bit of insight with the Oregon Department of Education since my wife works in in St. Helens at the
Okay.
Education Service District. I mean, she's not telling me everything, and I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
You can't go. Some of the things presented by the Oregon Department of Education, oh boy, uh, they seriously need to be reviewed.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you can tailor a particular issue to a geographical region in this state. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot. I don't know enough about the Oregon Department of Education, which I'm slowly reading about and trying to glean information from. And then because yeah, they put out a lot of mandates and they set a lot of policy, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh boy, I don't know
Hmm.
if that necessarily flies with the whole state. It's
Yeah.
I don't want to drop
Locally
into
for each district.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
We'll see what
That's
happens.
cool.
Look, I'm going to keep my ears open and I'm going to contribute when I can.
Yes,
I
yes,
to take in as much information as I can. I got to keep, and I'll interject if they ask me. I'll give them my opinion, and I will speak up if it's if it's something that's just deplorable. Of course, I would lay out something, but for the most part, at the beginning,
yeah,
I want to get to know how this whole thing works because, quite
yeah,
frankly, it's a little bit different from a fair board. You're
yes,
not
just a little
you're
bit.
not dealing with the blue ribbon in the swine category. You're dealing with all of those lovely children that need to be properly prepared to go out and hit the world.
Yeah,
Whether
yeah, for
it's
sure.
it's tough. They
That's the
these
goal.
kids live in a. My son told me, he goes, the kids shouldn't have phones until they're 17.
Hey,
17,
hey,
driver's license 16, phones at 17, and you can
yeah,
vote at 18, and then tobacco and alcohol at 21.
there
Phones,
you
it just
go. Just lay it out there
they're,
like
they're
that. Yeah,
devastating. I mean, yeah, of course that's never going to work, right? But
yeah, yeah,
uh, those things are horrible,
yeah, yeah.
except when they're used in this context. This is wonderful, right? So
Yes, yes.
you can
We can use
disseminate
technology
good
well.
information. So
Yes. Yes. Well, you kind of touched on, about, having your own personal opinion about certain things, that you might, bring up at the board, where you said, okay, I'm gonna just, kind of keep my, keep my mouth shut, listen to what's going on, figure out the lay of the land, right? And how things work. And then, the question that I get a lot is like, can school board members speak up of their own opinion, and can they give, that guidance, for a school board?
right, we're about to find out, right? If I
I
elected, I'm
right?
look. I'm not a radical. I'm
Yeah,
I'm not a I'm just
yeah,
everyday guy that just went to work for 45 years, raised his family.
yeah,
Now I got the time. I want to help because my
yeah.
kids are involved in education. My wife's involved in education. It's really funny how our whole family is now tied into education here in Columbia County. I'm just like, oh, just okay. So here we go. So
That's an awesome journey. That's really cool. How would you envision, if you were elected, how would you envision engaging with the community, hearing from others? What does that look like for you?
well, definitely. Look, this is a small town. You go to the baseball game, and all of a sudden, somebody wants to. They know you're on the school board. Somebody come up and talk to you. They want to talk business. You better talk business, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, if you're sitting at Cornerstone having dinner, well, yeah, you're somebody's going to come up and talk to you, or just okay. I'm
Yeah,
not going to
yeah,
discount anybody. It's small, but
yeah,
just be
yeah.
open. Just be
Yes.
open and listen. Try to
Yeah,
take in as much information as you can from all these people because it's important. We'll see what happens. I'm actually really excited, win or lose, however it goes. I'm
yeah,
still going to contribute to the school with what I'm doing right now.
yeah.
So
That's
it's
really awesome.
it's fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, Charles, I'm going to share your email with everybody. And,
Okay.
you've said, feel free to email you and, ask you questions, and maybe see you at Cornerstone, and, walk up and ask some questions too. Cornerstone is so awesome. Oh my gosh, I love that restaurant.
I Vicky's great. She's plugging away. Went through some hard times there for a while. That
Yeah,
was difficult. That was
yes,
really difficult to
man,
make
so
it. And now
difficult.
they're slowly starting to turn around. And
Yeah,
same
for
thing with the
sure.
kids. The kids went through
Sure.
the difficult period. Some of these kids are still COVID kids.
Yeah,
They went through a year or two when they were freshmen, where it wasn't a year or two. So
yes,
yeah,
yes.
it'll be a challenge, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Charles, for meeting with me and sharing this with everybody. And I hope to talk to you again soon, okay?
All right, Sherry.
Keep
Thank
up
you
the
very
good
much
work.
for your time. All right, appreciate it. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.